Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I am audible and visible to everyone. Okay. Now, good afternoon, Deepak. Before we get on to today's class, we'll just start with all the necessary conditions that I always tell you. Keep your videos off, and if you have any doubts, anything that good morning, Maruti. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon or morning, it's just good morning, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just used to that afternoon thing. I'm sorry. I lost track of time actually. It's good morning. Good morning, Vijay. Good morning, Vaini. Good morning, everyone. If you have any doubts, anything that you want to ask, anything that you want to add, I have logged in my two IDs. Get onto that Astikwala ID. Send your messages there. Please don't send me messages on this original ID. Good morning, Tejasvi. On the Astic ID, you can send me messages and I will be able to reply you. Thanks everyone and have a very good morning. Now, before we get into the class, I must tell you that as Chemistry Wale sir already told you that he is not available for 3 days. So Monday, that is today, Tuesday and Wednesday, he won't be available. Don't worry, he'll be taking your class from Thursday. So please bear in mind that one. And I'll be taking the class from 11:15. Okay. Having said that, I guess we were doing a very important and a nice topic in the last class. And today's class, Hinduja Saturday's whiteboard, beta, I got disconnected from the Zoom meeting platform. So there was no whiteboard as such. So I don't know, there's something wrong with Zoom. Even today also, if you had seen, I was logged in and then all of a sudden I was logged out. Something wrong with Zoom and I had made the entire whiteboard for today's class and that whiteboard is also gone. Maybe something wrong with the whiteboards, maybe something wrong with Zoom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save after every 10-20 minutes, I'm gonna save the whiteboards so that even if I get logged off, the whiteboards are still there. Okay, shall we start the class today? Okay, so today's class we'll start with what we did in the previous one. And in the previous one, we are dealing with slopes of line and something known as secant. Do we remember that secant? This green line, do we remember this green line? Yes, this green line is known as the secant of this graph and it is cutting the graph or touching the graph. It's not touching, it's cutting the graph at 2 points. And we had also seen how do we get the slope of the secant. So how do I get the slope of the secant? I just draw a red line here. This red line represents the x-axis. I find out this angle theta. And how do I get the value of this angle theta? We had already seen that we take the y coordinate here of point B. We take the x coordinate of point A, y coordinate of point A, and then we find out this distance and we call this distance as delta y. Do we remember delta y? Change in the value of y? Yes or no? We remember this? And then we found out the x coordinate of B. We found out the we found out the b coordinate, x coordinate of B, and we call this distance as delta x, change in the value of x. Yes or no? We agree on this point? Do we recollect it? Have you seen the video? Tell me, is the recording of the video available in your app? So if you have any doubts, you can go through that recording. Still it is not cleared, you can always come back to me and we will try to help you out in the Telegram group. So we have seen that tan of this angle theta, the green line, tan of this angle theta, the secant tan of the angle theta, and this is the slope of the secant. We understand this? This is the slope of the secant of the green line. This is the slope of the green line, and that is given by delta y by delta x. Yes or no? Do we remember this one? Then what did we see? Then I showed you something that what will happen if this delta x becomes very small? If I make this delta x very, very small, what will happen if I make this delta x very, very small? बहुत छोटा करते जाएंगे. If we make this delta x very, very small, then what will happen? What will happen? Anyone tell me? This point B will start coming towards point A. This point B will start coming towards point A. Do we agree on this? I'll repeat my statement. If I make the value of delta x, yes or no, correct. If I make the value of delta x very small, the point B will come very close to point A. The point B will come very close to point A. Now, how do I write it? I can write it like this. I can write it like this. I'm using this pen. I can write it like this. Just see the notation. Just see the notation. I will write it like this. Limit, again, it's a math term. Limit delta x tending towards 0. This arrow, the arrow that you see here means it is becoming 0, going towards 0, tending to 0. So limit delta x tending to 0, and then I have delta y by delta x. Then I have delta y by delta x. Now apply some common sense and tell me, if delta x becomes very small, point B will come very close to point A. It will come so close to point A that point B and point A, mark my words, that point B and point A will not remain different. They will become 1 point. Delta x tending towards 0, point A and point B will not remain two different points, but they will become 1 point. Then, Bhavya, AB is the secant, but now delta x is tending towards 0. A and B will not remain two different points. It will become 1 point. It will become what? Can you repeat? It will become 1 point. Okay. When A and B become 1 point, remember my question. Listen to my question. When A and B become 1 point, what will this box wali thing tell me? What will this box tell me? It will again tell me a slope. It will again tell me a slope. Slope of what? Slope of what? Slope of the tangent. Yes, Niharika, slope of the tangent. Slope of the tangent at which point? Slope of the tangent at which point? We discussed it in the previous class. Please remember, beta, we discussed this in the previous class that at different points, the slope of the tangent will be different. I am drawing one tangent at point A. Look at this brown line. Look at this brown line. This brown line is what? This brown line is what? What is this brown line? This brown line is the tangent drawn at. This brown line is the tangent drawn at point A. Yes. This brown line is the tangent drawn at point A. Now see what I'm going to do in that box. Now see what I'm going to do in that box. I will write A here. I have written A here. Do you see this A? Do you see this A? So basically what it means that I am finding delta y by delta x, limit delta x tending towards 0 at point A. At point A. What will this give me? This will give me what? Slope of, please say with me, slope of what? Slope of what? I only have 50 messages. Slope of tangent at which point, Bhavya? Which point? Tangent drawn at point A. That is very correct. Now look at where that tangent is. The tangent is the brown line, as you can see. Now let me draw a red line here. This red line represents x-axis. This red line represents x-axis. Now this brown line, which is tangent at point A, will also make an angle with the x-axis. Can you see that angle? I will write that angle in brown only. Do you see this angle? Do you see this angle phi? Do you see this angle phi? Yes, do you see this angle phi? Yes. So that is equal to tan of phi. This is equal to tan of phi, which is equal to slope of the tangent at point A. And we discussed it in the previous class. That will also be equal to slope of curve. The curve that we have drawn, this will be equal to the slope of curve drawn at point, why I have written B, at point A. Are you getting my thing? Are you understanding my point? Limit of delta x tending towards 0, delta y by delta x, calculated at the point A, will give me the slope of the tangent at point A, which is equal to the slope of the curve at point A. Am I clear? Can I have some raised hand? Can I have some yes sir, no sir, no sir? Okay, Jaishankar, yes, okay, I've got some raised hand. Great, great. So we have understood this. Okay, now I'll give you a small task. And tell me how it is, you will write this. So I'm using what do you call this? Orange pen. I'm using an orange pen now. And using this orange pen, I have drawn something here. Using this orange pen, I have drawn something here. Using this orange pen, I have drawn something here. Now tell me what is this? Using this orange pen, I have drawn something here. Now tell me, this is tangent at B, correct? Correct, Niharika, this is tangent at B, Now, tangent at B. Now you have seen this box. Whatever color it is. You have seen this box. That box gave me tangent at A. That box gave me the slope of tangent at A. You have to tell me mathematically, how will you write slope at point B? Listen to my question. The box that I created gave me the slope of the tangent at point A. You have to tell me what is the slope of the tangent at point B. How will you write it? How will you write the slope of the tangent at point B? Anyone? Angle with y-axis. Beta, I created a box here. You have to create a similar box and write it in that way. So I'll write it. So it will be written like this. Limit delta x tending towards 0, delta y by delta x calculated at the point B. Are you getting this orange box? Yes, sir. Now this orange box is going to tell me slope of the tangent at point B. This orange box will tell me the slope of the tangent at point B. And for your understanding, I'm going to draw that angle. So again, I make a red line. This red line represents x-axis. And then I'll again change the color. And I got this angle. I hope you understand this angle. I hope it is not getting too cumbersome. And I call this angle as xi. Again, xi is a Greek alphabet. This xi, tan of xi is given by this dabba that I have created. Tan of xi is what? Tan of xi is the slope of tangent drawn at point B, which is same as slope of the curve at point B. And this is how in dabba it is written. Limit of delta x tending towards 0, delta y by delta x calculated bracket at point A or point B. At point A, it will give slope at point A. At point B, it will give slope at point B. Am I clear with this concept? Can I have some raised hand so that I understand that we understand? What is limit? Limit just tells us, beta, it's a mathematical term. It just tells us that delta x is very, very small. It is going towards 0. It is very small. Delta x is very small. Limit delta x tending to 0 just tells me that. It's a mathematical way of saying it is very small. Am I clear with this concept? Great. Have you drawn this diagram? You might not find this in any book. You might not find this in your notes. That's why you have to come to the class, so that you listen to good stuff. Okay. Okay. Chalo, I'll move on to the next whiteboard. And once I move on to the next whiteboard, I am again going to write similar things here. So I wrote limit delta x tending towards 0, delta y by delta x. Now, instead of writing it, mark my words, instead of writing it so big, making it so big, I'll just write it in very small, simple terms. I will write it as dy by dx. Beta, we cannot draw infinite tangents at A and B. There can be only one tangent that can be drawn. There cannot be infinite tangents. There's only one line that will touch it at one point. So instead of writing it so big, this entire thing can be written as dy by dx. Are you getting my point? This entire thing can be written as dy by dx. dy means very small change in value of y. Very small change in the value of y for a very small change in the value of x. Are you getting my point? dy by dx. dy means very small change in the value of y. Delta y means large change in the value of y. So delta always refers to large changes. Large changes is denoted by delta. Small changes are denoted by d, dy, dx, dt, and so on. Are you getting my point, everyone? So this entire thing in the red box can now be written like this. Am I clear? Am I clear with this? Do you understand this? Please, I need to have some raised hands. If you don't understand this, I'll have to repeat the entire thing again. I'll have to repeat the entire thing again, because this has to be very clear, whether you are from BIPC or you are from MPC group. This thing has to be clear, right? Now, what are the, there are different ways in which I can write the same thing. There are different ways in which I can write the same thing. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to share something with you so that we are able to understand. Do you see this? Everyone sees this? Yes, sir. Okay. So here it is written dy by dx, correct? Here is written dy by dx. Now this is how we call it, dy by dx. This is how we speak, dy by dx, dy by dx, dy by dx. It names the variable and uses d for the derivative. So it uses d for the derivative. I'll send this PDF, don't worry. Okay, instead of getting into PDF, I'll just write it. Don't worry. If you have any problems with the PDF, don't worry, I'll just write it. No problem, I'll write it. Okay, so I'll write it and I'll try to explain it in written language. Okay, now let us look at how we can call this dy by deri. Yes, I'll send it, don't worry, better. Everything will be there. See, you are sitting in a car which has 18 airbags. We have covered you from every side. I'll give you too many things to read. Too many things to read. Don't worry about that. For each and everything, I'll give you too many stuff to read if you are interested. dy by dx, we can call it as derivative of, now look at the language. We can call it as derivative of y with respect to x. This is one first way of calling this dy by dx. dy by dx can be called as derivative of y with respect to x. Am I clear with this? First nomenclature of dy by dx. First nomenclature of dy by dx. Yes, shall I move on to the next one? It can also be called as rate of what? Rate of what? Tell me, rate of what? Rate of what? Rate of rate of change of y with respect to x. So you can also call it in this fashion, rate of change of y with respect to x. Rate of change of y with respect to x. Am I clear? The first is derivative of y with respect to x. The second is rate of change of y with respect to x. Okay? Okay? You can also call it as slope of the curve. Slope of the curve y is equal to fx. Remember, in the very beginning, we had a curve. This was a gentleman curve. And dy by dx was giving us the slope of the curve. Do we remember this? Do we remember this? Dy by dx was giving me the slope of the curve. I am not seeing any raised hands. I just saw two. Only two people remember it. It's very sad. I have 150 messages, but only two people remember it. Very sad. I'm a very bad teacher then. 15 hands. Okay. So dy by dx. The first thing is it is derivative of y with respect to x. We can call it that way. Second way is rate of change of y with respect to x. The third is slope of the curve y is equal to fx. What is the fourth way? You already know the fourth way. You already know the fourth way. Tell me the fourth way. Fourth way of calling dy by dx. Fourth way of calling dy by dx. Fourth way of calling dy by dx. It comes from slope of the curve. I told you about something about the slope of the curve. Slope of the curve is same as what? Slope of the curve is same as what? Slope of the curve is same as what? X. No, we are not x. Slope of the curve is same as what? Come on. Slope of the curve is same as what? Slope of tangent to the curve. Yes, Chaturya, you are right. Slope of tangent to the curve. So these are four different ways. I will not go into the more ones. Slope of tangent to the curve. Slope of tangent to the curve. You can also write this dy by dx as f dot x. You can also write it as f dot x. It is known as the first derivative. It is known as the first derivative of y with respect to x. I have used the term first. That means there is second and third and fourth and fifth. We'll come to that, don't worry. Dy by dx can be called in different ways. First, derivative of y with respect to x. Second, rate of change of y with respect to x. Third, slope of the curve y is equal to fx. Fourth, slope of the tangent. Am I clear? No, but I don't have chemistry class today. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this? Yes. Now I have also told you that this dy by dx, which is the slope of the curve, which is the slope of the tangent, will not be same at all points. Will not be same at all points. I gave you one example where it is same at all points. I gave you example of one curve, one particular type of curve or equation where it is same for all points. What was that curve? What was that thing that I told you that it is same, slope is same at all points? I told you in the previous class. Straight line curve. Yes, Anjali. You may not call it as curve. Straight line. If you have a straight line, slope is same. And I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you today. Slope of a straight line is always same. But if it is not a straight line, it is going to be different. If it is not a straight line, it is going to be different. So if I just write dy by dx, I am just talking about slope. At which point? I don't know. So it's better to write it like this. Dy by dx. I written dy by dy. I must undo it. Dy by dx calculated at the point A. Dy by dx at the point A. Now can you tell me what will it tell me? What does this thing mean now? When I've written A here, what does this mean now? Now it means that we have to calculate, yes, slope of the curve at point A. At point A, we have to calculate it. Because as you can see, it would be different at different points. At A, it is different. At B, it is different. At any point C, it might be different. So when I write the value at A, it means we have to calculate the tangent at that point. Am I clear with this? So dy by dx at the point A tells me slope of the curve at point A. First derivative of y with respect to x at point A. Rate of change of y with respect to x at the point A. Slope of the curve at the point A. Slope of the tangent at the point A. When I have some raised hand, have you understood this? Right, right. So now I understand that dy by dx means rate of change of y with respect to x, or any of the four ways. It's one and the same thing, doesn't make any difference. Shall we move ahead? Shall we move ahead? Now the heading would be important points and formulas about, we can also call it derivative or differentiation. So we can also call it differentiation. So you can write different important points about differentiation or derivative or rate of change of curve. So write the heading, important points that you must remember. Important points that you must remember. And I am moving on to point number 1. And let's see what is point number 1. You will have to note it down. If you can't note it down, I will send you this PDF. Why it is not showing this PDF? Yes, it is showing. Okay. Now you'll have to write these points. I'm going to mark them and you will have to write them. If you don't understand, you can ask. The first thing, rule number 1. Rule number 1. Point number 1. Derivative of a constant. Derivative of a constant. Something is a constant. Constant means it does not change. No change. If something does not change, what will be its derivative? If something does not change, derivative is rate of change. If something does not change, what will be its derivative? And what is the answer? If something does not change, what will be its derivative? What will be its rate of change? Anyone, give me an answer. If something does not change, if something is a constant, 0. Yes, Hanak. Niharika, yes. Yes, Sai. If something does not change, if something is a constant, yes, Anjali, the derivative has to be 0 and it is written over here. If you can't see it, I will write it d by dx of any constant c, constant means it does not change, has to be equal to 0. Are we getting this point? We already have around 180 messages. Are we getting this point? Constant of a derivative. Derivative is rate of change. Constant does not change. Derivative is 0. Shall we move ahead? Shall we move ahead? Now see, we have got some examples over here. Derivative of x, derivative of 8 with respect to x. What will be the answer? Derivative of 8 with respect to x. 8 is a number, does not change. Derivative of 8 with respect to x would be 0. Derivative of minus 2 with respect to x is 0. Constant, does not change. Derivative of root 3 with respect to x, constant, does not change. It's 0. Are we getting my, is everyone getting my point? Derivative of a constant is always 0. One more example, d of capital G with respect to x. What is this capital G? What is this capital G? This is universal gravitational constant. We have already seen it many times. What will be the derivative of universal gravitational constant with respect to z, with respect to x, or with respect to y, or anything? It would be 0. Why it is 0? Niharika, why it is 0? Because it is a constant and constants never change and their derivative is 0. Everyone got this point? Everyone got this point? We move ahead. We move ahead. The second rule is known as the power rule. The second rule, one of the most important rules, which we'll be requiring in physics from the very beginning. That's why we have to remember it very nicely, very correctly. Derivative of x raised to the power n with respect to x will always be equal to, I'll write it in bigger terms, d by dx of x raised to the power of n will be equal to, this n comes down, n times x raised to the power n minus 1. We have to remember this till the end of our lives. We can't forget this. This is the basics. You can't forget this. This is just like A, B, C, D. You can't forget it in your entire life. D by dx of x raised to the power n, whether you are a mathematician, whether you are a doctor, you must remember this. It is equal to n times x raised to the power n minus 1. Shall I move ahead? Shall I move ahead? I'll give you a small question. What will be d by dx of x raised to the power of 3? What will be d by dx of x raised to the power of 3? D by dx of x raised to the power 3. Apply the formula, get the answer, stay happy. That will be equal to 3 times, here n is equal to 3. 3 times x raised to the power n minus 1. N is 3. 3 minus 1. So the answer will be 3x square. Are we getting this? How we applied this power rule here? Power rule applied here. Great. 3x square is the answer. One more. D by dx of x raised to the power of half. What will be the answer to this one? D by dx of x raised to the power half. I'm giving you time. Please tell me the answer. D by dx of x raised to the power of half. We have crossed 200 messages and we're looking for 500 so that most of us can participate. D by dx of x raised to the power of half. Anyone with an answer? Yes, so here n is half, so half will come down, half into x into half minus 1. So half minus 1 is minus half, so it will be minus 1 by 2. Are we getting this point? Half x raised to the power of minus 1 by 2. Yes, Anak, you are correct. Deepak, you are also correct. Half x raised to the power of minus 1 by 2. Am I clear for everyone? Am I clear to everyone? Here are some more examples given. For example, what is d by dx of 1 by x? What will be d by dx of 1 by x? Anyone with an answer? What will be d by dx of 1 by x? Anyone with an answer for this one? I am waiting for answers. D by dx of x raised to the d by dx of 1 by x. D by dx of 1 by x. X raised to the power minus 1. Yes, 1 by x can be written as d by dx of, very correct, we can write it as d by dx of x raised to the power minus 1. Now put the formula, get the answer and stay happy. No beta, it will not be equal to minus x raised to the power 0. Silly mistake. Can't make silly mistakes. So minus 1 will come down, minus 1 into x raised to the power minus 1, so it becomes minus 2. It becomes minus 2. So the answer will be minus 1 into x is minus x only. So I'll write it like this, minus x raised to the power of minus 2. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this? Minus x raised to the power of minus 2 will be the derivative of 1 by x. Minus x raised to the power of minus 2 will be the derivative of minus x. We have just put the formula, Vahini, here n is equal to minus 1, here n is equal to minus 1. I have put the formula n times x raised to the power n minus 1. So minus 1 times x raised to the power of minus 1, and we have the answer, minus x raised to the power of minus 2. Am I clear with this? Hannah, we got this? Yes, that's correct. Okay, Vahini. That's correct. So then we have, shall we move ahead? You understand this? Okay, you can do this one more as well. If you are having a doubt, d by dx of x raised to the power 1 by 5. D by dx of x raised to the power 1 by 5. You can just do this. Do not look at what is here because I'm not concentrating on the math part. I'm only concentrating on the physics one. I only require the physics one. I do not want to get into the math one. Math sir will be dealing with this in great details. I'm just concentrating on the formula part. What will be the d by dx of x raised to the power 1 by 5? Please get me the answer. I'm waiting for the answers. And the answer is Deepak has given me the wrong answer. Deepak, stupid mistake. Can't do this. You can't do stupid mistake like this. Yes, Reddy. First time Reddy has given an answer and it is right. Vijay Kumar has given me the wrong answer. Stupid mistakes. Please don't make stupid mistakes. Here, n key value is 1 by 5 beta. Please remember, n key value is 1 by 5. Yes, Chaturya, you are correct. So it will be 1 by 5 x raised to the power of 1 by 5 minus 1. So 1 by 5 minus 1 will be minus 4 by 5. And that would be our answer. 1 by 5 times x raised to the power minus 4 by 5. Yes, Shankar, you are absolutely right. Shall we move ahead? The next rule. You cannot forget these rules. These rules are going to remain for your life. For your life, you become an engineer, doctor. These rules are going to remain with you for a lifetime. Constant multiple rule. What is this constant multiple rule? So if I have d by dx of c multiplied by u, it will be c times du by dx, where u is a function of x. Where u is a function of x. Please write this. I'll give you a minute to write this. You may not understand this. I will give you an example that will make you understand what is a function of x. We have already discussed function of x. Yeah, don't worry. We already discussed it. I'll just remind you once again. Please write that d by dx of c times of u, d by dx of c times of u will be equal to c times du by dx. And then I'll give you a very nice, simple example that will make you understand this. I hope you have written this. So let us take an example, and I'll take the example that is given over here. If I have d by dx of 3 times x squared. If I have d by dx of 3 times x squared. Now look at this 3 gentlemen. Now look at this 3 gentlemen. This 3 is a constant. This 3 is a constant. And this x squared is a function of x. Everyone getting me? Everyone getting this? Please raise your hands. Please tell yes, no, sir. We don't understand, sir. Please repeat, sir. Yes, sir, we get this. 3 is a constant. X squared is a function of x. So I put the formula. So I take 3 out. 3 comes out. So 3 times d by dx of x squared, it becomes 3 jumps out, it comes out, and it becomes 3 times d by dx of x squared. We understand this? Do we understand this? Now you just have to find the derivative of x squared. Yes, Reddy, derivative of x squared is 2 times of x. Same formula, x raised to the power n is 2. So 2 times x. So the answer becomes derivative of x squared becomes 2 times of x multiplied by 3. The answer becomes 6x. The answer becomes 6x. I'll give you more examples on this. Don't worry. I'll give you more examples on this. I'll come back to my whiteboard. Let's try to give you more examples on this. If you don't understand. So I think I think you are here. Yes, I'm. So I have to find question number 1, or you can call it question number 2. D by dx of 6x cubed. Now try it on your own. And I'm sure you can do this. Try it on your own. Just remember 6 is a constant. Just remember 6 is a constant. Just remember, no, 6x squared is not the correct answer, beta. Just remember 6 is a constant. Nothing else. That's it. 6 is a constant. 18x squared, that is correct, beta. 18x squared is correct. Yes, indeed, 18x squared is correct. 18x squared is correct. No problems with this. So how do I do this? How do I do this? Simple. Simple. This 6, which is a constant, comes out. So it becomes 6 times d by dx of x cube. Please see this step carefully. 6 has come out. It is d by dx of x cube. Everyone knows what is the d by dx of x cube. So I take it 6 outside. 6 was always outside. D by dx of x cube. What is the d by dx of x cube? N is equal to 3. So 3 jumps here into x raised to the power of n minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. And so the final answer is 18x squared. Are we getting this point? 18x squared. D by dx of 6 x raised to the power cubed. 6 jumps out. It does not remain inside because it is a constant. It jumps out. Derivative is only x cubed ka derivative. It is 3x squared, and we are done. Shall I give you one more example? Okay, do this, and I expect all of you to get the answer to this one. D by dx of 12x squared. D by dx of 12x squared. I'm waiting for answers. Waiting for answers. D by dx of 12x squared. Hinduja comes with an answer of 24x. Hinduja, that is correct. Niharika comes with 24x squared. That is wrong, beta. Bhavya comes with 24x. That is correct. Correct, Santosh. 24x should be the answer as far as I am concerned. Maruti, again, Maruti comes for the first time with the right answer. Correct, Madhi. Correct, Deepak. 24x should be the answer. 12 jumps out. So it becomes 12 times d by dx of x squared. We just have to find the derivative of x squared. We have done it so many times. 12 comes out. X raised to the power of 2. 2 jumps niche. 2. X raised to the power 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So your answer is 24x. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this? One more. One more. 3. And I guess I'll get more answers this time. 12 by x cubed. D by dx of 12 by x cubed. D by dx of 12 by x cubed. I'm waiting for answer. I only have 300 messages today. We are not doing good. Must be around 400 to 500, somewhere around that range. 12 by x cubed. Minus 36x raised to the power minus 2. Again, I am having various answers. Minus 36x raised to the power of minus 2. Minus 4, Santosh is giving. So minus 30x is there. Whether it's x raised to the power 2 or x raised to the power minus 2 or x raised to the power 4. Yashwan gives me x raised to the power 2. I don't think that is correct, beta. X raised to the power minus 4 looks good. X raised to the power 2 does not look good. X raised to the power minus 4 Kartik looks good. Again, I must tell you, beta, that all these things are a matter of practice, and if you don't do enough practice, you might do a silly mistake. Save yourself, safeguard yourself from this silly mistake. Again, 12 is a constant, it jumps out. So it is 12 times d by dx. Yes, Hannah, I think you are right. D by dx of 1 by x cubed. 1 by x cubed can be written as x raised to the power of minus 3. X raised to the power of minus 3. 12 jumps out. 12 was already out. X raised to the power minus 3. N is equal to minus 3. So it is minus 3 times x raised to the power of n minus 1. Minus 3 minus 1. It's too many times I've told you this. It has to be minus 4. Nothing else would suffice. Am I clear with this? How did I get this? Yes. So the answer will be minus 36. Because 12 multiplied by minus 3 will be minus 36. Minus 36 into x raised to the power of minus 4. Everyone got this? Everyone got this? I hope you got this. Okay. Still you don't understand? Go back. See the lecture once again. Any doubts? Telegram group. Okay. We had done 3 rules, right? 4th rule, which probably might not be there. I don't know. So I'll just give you in the writing. The 4th rule. D by dx of x. I should not have written it as a separate rule. Good afternoon, Chatur. You have been too late, I think. D by dx of x d by dx of x. What is d by dx of x? The d is not 0. I'm afraid it's not 0. Someone has sent me message here also. Bharat, please, Bharat, Utpreksha, please send me messages on the other ID beta. Astik wala ID. I don't see this ID. 1. Yes, Anjali, that's 1. D by dx of x is equal to 1. Please remember this. Please remember this. Because, see, x raised to the power 1, it is the derivative of x raised to the power of 1. So by formula, it will become 1 multiplied by x raised to the power 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. X raised to the power 0 is 1. So it will be 1 multiplied by x raised to the power of 0. And the answer would be 1. Are we getting this rule number 4? Are we getting this rule number 4, everyone? I don't have raised hands. Anjali says yes. Only Anjali understands this. Maruti says yes. Okay, 10, 17. Okay, great, great, great. One example on this. One example on this. What will be the derivative of d by dx of 12 times of x? D by dx of 12x. Waiting for answers. Waiting for answers, and I already have an answer from Bhavya as well as from Hinduja, and the answer is 12. I hope everybody understands this. This 12 multiplied by derivative of x, that is 1. 12 multiplied by 1 is 1. So the answer has to be 12. We getting this, everyone? Shall I move ahead to the next rule? Shall I move ahead to the next rule? And the next rule again will be shared with you, and here is the share. So we have done this rule of constant multiple. Come to the next very important rule, which is known as the sum rule. Again, what we are discussing are so important that we can't ever forget them. Sum rule can also be subtraction rule. Sum and subtraction are the same. So what does it say? What does it say? It basically says that if I just write it, derivative of u plus v, where u is one function and v is second function. It could be plus, it could be minus as well. Derivative of u plus v or u minus v, where u is one function of x, v is other function of x. What will this be equal to? Just apply some common sense and you will get the answer. Physics is simple. This is a part of maths, but the use in physics, that's very simple. D by dx of u plus v. U and v are different functions of x. I'm waiting for your answer. What would be the answer here? What will be derivative of u plus v? And some things are written over here. You can take some hints from here and give me the answer. What will be derivative of x of u plus v? Derivative of x of u plus v. And the answer is what? No one gave me an answer. I have 400 messages, 350 messages, but no answers. Different. What different? What does different mean here? I don't understand the meaning of different. It will be du by dx, derivative of the first function. I've written the first, plus dv by dx. Are we getting this point? Are we getting this point? Yes, Santosh, you are absolutely correct. Yes, everyone understand this now. Derivative of u plus v, where u and v are different functions, would be equal to derivative of u plus or minus, depending on what is the case. Hanak, you written it wrongly. You have to write du by dx. Du by dx plus or minus dv by dx. Everyone got this? Everyone got this formula? Now, instead of 2, there can be 3, there can be 4, there can be 5. You just keep on adding and subtracting as they go on. So I've written it only for 2, but as you can see in the notes, it's given for a lot many terms. You may not have to remember it for a lot many terms. If you understand it for 2, you can just keep the series going. You understand this now? Shall we move on to an example here? Yes. Okay, so here comes our example, and I will begin it on a new slide. cannot be taken. No, but dx cannot be taken as common. Please don't take it dx as common, beta. Don't do that. dv by dx plus du by dx. That's how it's said. Don't take dx as common. Okay. Moving on to some examples. You have to find the derivative of d by dx of. Let me start with a very simple one. X square plus x cubed. Let me start with a very simple one. You have to find derivative of x squared plus x cubed. And I'm waiting for your answers. Derivative of x squared plus x cubed. Waiting for answers. No one? Viney says x to the power 4. Viney, you are wrong. Jayashankar gives me d of x square with respect to dx plus dx cubed. But I need an answer. I need an answer. I need an answer. I need an answer. Nobody gave me an answer. Everybody is giving me questions. Answer is 2x plus 3x square. Yes, Yashwan, that is the answer. 2x plus 3x square. So how do I do it? Yes, Reddy, that is the answer. Don't worry. Take a deep breath. I always tell you, if you don't get an answer, take a deep breath. Close your eyes for 1 second and you will understand it. So here I have two functions, x squared and x cubed. Don't panic, just write them. So you'll write it like this, d by dx of x squared. Very nicely and quietly. Keep on doing your job. Do not see what else everyone else is doing. D by dx of x squared plus x cubed. I have applied the formula. Find out the derivative of x squared. You already know the derivative of x squared. X key value, n key value is 2. So it becomes 2x. We agree on this, 2x. X squared derivative is 2x. What is the derivative of x cubed? Which will be equal to 3 times of x squared. That is the answer, 2x plus 3x squared. Am I clear with this? Anyone has any doubt on this? How did I do it? Clear? I already have 380 messages. Great. Anyone understand this? Shall I move on to the next one? Clear, clear, clear. Okay. If you still don't understand, go back to the same stuff. See the message. We are doing more questions. Don't worry. That was question number 1. Let me move on to question number 2. D by dx of 3x cubed plus 2x squared. Derivative of 3x cubed plus 2x squared. Waiting for answers. Derivative of 3x squared, no, 3x cubed plus 2x squared. 9x squared plus 4x is the right answer, Induja. Great. This is function number 1. This is function number 2. Then just apply what we have read in small steps. 9x squared plus 4x. Yes, yes, Bhavya. Yes, Vijay. Correct answer. Correct answer, ready. How do we go about it? Break it into two functions. D by dx of 3x cubed plus d by dx of 2x squared. No prizes for guessing it. 3 comes out, it is derivative of x cubed. 3 comes out, derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. So this becomes 9x squared. 2 comes out, derivative of x squared is 2x. 2 into 2 is 4 plus 4x. Am I clear with this? Can I have some raised hand? How I achieved this result? Very simple. Applied common sense. Applied what I have read for the past 30 minutes in the class, 40 minutes in the class. Applied it, got the answer. Shall I give you some more difficult one? Somewhat difficult one. Question number 3. D by dx of 6x cubed plus 2x squared plus 6x plus 7 by x plus 3. Do not think that it's a difficult question. It's a simple one, just more terms. So that you remember everything that we have done. That's the only purpose of giving you this. We may not encounter such long expressions in physics. This is just to make you understand better what we have done in the entire class today. What we have done in the entire class today. Waiting for answers. We have crossed 400 messages. Great. You can have 10, 20, 30 messages on this one as well. A long term, it might take some time. Don't worry, time is on our side. Here, now. Vijay Kumar gives an answer 18x squared plus 4x plus 6x plus 7x. 7x is wrong, beta. 7x is wrong. I knew that you are going to make a mistake somewhere. That's why I gave upon x something. But I knew that you might make a mistake. In yes, not 7x to the power minus 2 beta, minus 7x squared. Yes, someone gave me the right answer there. Minus 7x squared plus 6. Minus 7 plus 6 is correct. Minus 7 is not correct. Minus 7 is not correct. Chalo, I'll give you the answer. First, I'll find the derivative of 6x cubed. 6 comes out. Derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. I hope everyone got this. So this is 18x squared. Now I find out the derivative of 2x squared. 2 comes out. Derivative of x squared. Yes, Chatur, you are correct. Derivative of x squared is 2x. So the second term is 4x plus 6x ka derivative. 6 comes out. Derivative of x is 1. So this is 6 plus 7 is multiplied. So 7 comes out. This is x raised to the power of minus 1. So minus 1 comes out. So it becomes minus here. Minus 7. X raised to the power minus 1, it becomes x raised to the power of minus 2. And this is where almost many of you have made mistake. Please remember it. Plus you have 3. 3 is a constant. Cannot have a derivative. The answer is 0. The total answer, final answer is this one. We understand this? Anyone has any doubt on this? Yes, Santosh, this is correct. Minus 7x to the power minus 2. I'm only concentrating on that last term because most of you have done mistakes here. We got this? Now you must be wondering, sir, why did we do all this derivative? What was the reason for that? So I'll give you one question to end this class so that you understand the reason behind it. Understand the reason behind it. So the reason in physics is this one. So I give you a question. If x is equal to 2t squared plus 2t plus 1, v is equal to dx by dt. Find v. Now, some of you might understand, some of you might know, what does x mean here? For others, x is x, t is t, v is v. It may not make sense, but some of you might make some sense out of it. What does x stand for here? No one? Bhavya has given me the answer. Bhavya, yes, your answer, the last part is, your answer is wrong. What does x stand for here? X stands for displacement. X stands for 4t plus 2, that is correct. X stands for displacement. T stands for, I'm more concentrating on that part. X stands for displacement. Yes, Anjali, that was the motive. T stands for time and V stands for velocity. This is displacement, time, velocity. And here we are going to apply differentiation or derivative. And that is why we were doing derivative. This reason why we are doing things. Everybody understands the reason now? Why we are doing differentiation? Because we'll have to do this. And then we can't say that we don't know differentiation, we can't do this. No, there are no excuses. There are no excuses in life. People who are famous or who have attained something in life, they never give excuses for their failure. They accept their failure. That's what my mistake. We can't give an excuse that we don't know derivatives or we are from bio. Why will we know derivative? No, you have to know it. Now, how do we do it? Up till now, we were doing derivative with respect to x. Doesn't matter. We can also find derivative with respect to t. Same thing. Same thing. So dx by dt, if I have to find, which is now given in the question equal to v, just find the derivative of this thing with respect to t. 2 is already out. We have to find the derivative of t squared with respect to t. T squared ka derivative will be 2 into t multiplied by 2t plus what will be the derivative of 2t? T ka derivative is 1. This will be equal to 2. What is the derivative of 1? Derivative of 1 is constant, 0. So the velocity becomes 4t plus 2. That would be your answer. Velocity is 4t plus 2. And what do we call it? We call it velocity as a function. This v or velocity is given as a function of what? This is given as a function of what? That is the last question. This v is a function of what? This v is a function of time, t, yes. Now this is how we are going to speak in physics. Velocity as a function of time. Yes, but thanks for reminding me. I'll just save it. Saved. Velocity as a function of time. We'll end our class here on this particular note. I hope all of you have understood the lesson today. If anyone has any doubts regarding anything that we have discussed, please come to me. I am here. I hope all of you stay home, stay safe. Bye bye, everyone.